Good morning. We're gathered this morning to conduct and open up the 2020 City of Fitchburg Board of Review. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Chair Couliard.
Here.
Elton Krim.
Here.
Erica Ryerson.
Here.
Craig Stevenson, absent. Matt Polda, absent. Rich Tate.
Here.
You have quorum.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. A little bit of a challenge as we look at this year's Board of Review with the health pandemic going on. But we do have a quorum this morning. And also present is with us this morning, Amy Mercer, our City Assessor. One question before we start for the clerk. Has our meeting been properly noticed as required under Wisconsin statutes?
Yes, it has.
Hearing that, I'll move right into our agenda, which I understand is quite short this morning. And we're asking the assessor to give us an update on the assessments and the assessment role and the date of completion. Understanding is this morning we're meeting at this time to meet the statutory requirements. We'll be adjourning to a later date for actual hearings for the Board of Review. Please take it away, Amy.
Okay. I'm Amy Mercer, the City Assessor, and our assessment role is not complete at this point in time. Multiple reasons. We are revaluing the entire city. Between that and the COVID and staff working remotely. And then our commercial appraiser retired May 1st, and our new commercial appraiser started May 4th. So we want to allow enough time for that new commercial appraiser to review the entire commercial properties and the personal property roles to make sure those values are correct and accurate before we send out assessment notices. At this point, we're estimating the end of July to have that process completed. He thought it would take 2 to 3 months to review everything and reconcile all of the values. But at this point in time, we do not have an exact date that we believe notices will be sent out. And due to that, then we would not have an exact date for the Board of Review to be, to re-adjourn. We're anticipating if notices go out the end of July, then we would have open book the first couple weeks of August. We typically overlap a 3-week period when we do that to give enough time for notices to hit and people to review and remail out if they come back to us, things like that. And then by statute with the revaluation, after we send out revised assessment notices, we're required to allow 30 days between those notices re-going out and the Board of Review. So if that's the case, then it would probably be mid-September that we would meet for Board of Review, which is much later than typical.
There's nothing about 2020 that's been typical so far, so.
Can you turn your mic on? Sorry, just.
There's nothing about 2020 that's been typical so far.
No, there is nothing.
Thank you for your efforts.
Mid-September, we do need a specific date as we look at re-adjourning or reconvening the Board of Review. And can you give us what you would recommend as your first choice or approximate date that we can then work with?
I don't have a calendar in front of me, so sorry. Do you have one? What would be like the second or third week in September then?
The 11th is the second, the 18th is the third week of September. Is that right?
Okay.
So if you're counting from Sunday, the week beginning 13th or the week beginning 20th?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at Fridays, which is the day of the week I could meet.
Oh.
I would, just to be on the safe side, I would think looking at that week of the 14th, and then that would be up to the board to decide which date would you would be able to, and we can work backwards and make sure things are completed, for assessment processes, to make sure everything is up to statute for that date that you choose then.
Is the Department of Revenue giving you any leeway this year in completion dates?
No, they have not.
So you still have to comply with the statutory dates as required by Chapter 70 of the statutes?
Correct. My MAR was still due today and everything else, so it will be an estimated, we refer to it as a MAR, Municipal Assessor's Report, and the values that are on that report are what work with the equated value for taxation purposes and things of that nature. So that's why we really tried to have everything done by this date, but it has been an extremely challenging year.
So Fridays,
Microphone.
Sorry. If Fridays are a preferred date for members of the board, then we could look at September 18th. Or is that not in keeping with revenue regulations somehow on when this next meeting has to take place?
I guess it's up for our discussion as to what date we want to pick during the week.
Okay.
And at this point, September 18th as a starting date would be, I think, as good as any.
I'm good.
Elton, does that?
That works for me.
Okay? So after conferring with the assessor, the board has agreed that September 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning would be the time we will reconvene the Board of Review in anticipation that the assessment roll and all the notices as required by statute have been completed so that we can conduct the hearings as necessary to complete the 2020 Board of Review for the city. To make this an official action, I do need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
We have a motion that's moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Excellent. Please let the record note it's a unanimous decision.
I have a question. There's a minimum amount of time for that meeting, right? We have to be open for, is it 2 hours?
2 hours is the max, or the minimum amount of time.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, hearing that, then I guess we are basically finished with our agenda this morning. And I would ascertain a motion to adjourn until September 18th.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Excellent. Please again let the record note we are adjourning this Board of Review until September 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning of the year 2020. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this morning, and we hope that everyone stays safe as we deal with this health issues our country is fighting. So